My name is Raina Vale. I'm 32 years old. At breakfast, my dad said, "We've booked a trip to Italy. Just the 6 of us. You understand, right? 6 people. 5 sitting at the table, not me." I smiled anyway. Of course. That smile cost me something. It always did. They kept talking. Rome, Florence, Venice. 2 weeks in paradise. Mom mentioned cooking classes. Sloane showed pictures of hotels. My brothers argued about rental cars. I sat there, invisible. Before we dive into this story, tell us where in the world you're watching from and what time it is right now someone near you might be watching too. And don't forget to subscribe to support and appreciate the work we do on this channel. This wasn't new. This was my entire life. When I was 8, Mom promised me a movie if I cleaned the house. I scrubbed for 6 hours. She went without me, said I missed a spot. When I was 15, Dad said we'd go fishing. Just us. I woke at dawn, packed everything. He left with Callum instead. Told me to mow the lawn. I learned fast. Stay quiet. Don't ask. Don't expect. So I didn't. I became the easy daughter, the one who understood, the one who never complained. College? I worked 3 jobs. Paid every cent myself. Built character, they said. Callum's college? They paid it all. He needed support, they said. My first apartment? 2 years of saving for a deposit. Sloane's first apartment? Dad co-signed. Paid her rent for a year. She was going through something, they said. I wasn't going through anything, apparently. By 25, I stopped expecting fairness. I just wanted to belong. So when they needed money, I gave it. Mom's car died. I bought her a new one. Dad's business struggled. I sent $15,000. Sloane's wedding venue. I paid $12,000 because family helps family. Every time they said thank you. Every time I told myself this was love. But it wasn't love. They were spending me. And I was so desperate to be seen. I handed them my wallet and called it affection. I convinced myself that balance was love. That if I gave enough, they'd finally appreciate me. I was wrong. Love doesn't leave you empty. It doesn't make you pay for your seat at the table. But I didn't know that yet. Not until that Tuesday morning, sitting at breakfast, watching them plan Italy without me, something clicked. This wasn't an accident. This was a choice. They chose each other. They chose to leave me out. Again, I finished my toast, laughed at Ezra's joke, asked Mom about sunscreen. Perfect performance. Then I went home. That night, my phone lit up. Bank alert. 5 tickets to Rome. My account. $4,000. Hotel reservation. My account. $6,000. Rental car. 2 weeks. My account. $1,500. I stared at the screen, hands shaking. They didn't invite me to Italy, but they expected me to pay for it. Every charge. My name. My money. My account they'd been using for years without asking. I scrolled further back. Grocery deliveries to Mom's house. My account. Gas charges in Dad's neighborhood. My account. Shopping orders with Sloane's address. My account. Streaming services. Phone bills. 3 lines that weren't mine. All autopay. All my money. How did I miss this? Because I didn't want to see it. I'd convinced myself this was helping. This was family. This was love. But this was theft. Theft wrapped in guilt and tied with "you're so generous." 10 years of this. Maybe more. I opened my banking app, found every card linked to their names. My thumb hovered over the freeze button. This was it. The moment everything would change. I thought about that breakfast table, their excited faces, their plans, their vacation, funded by me, without me. I pressed freeze. The screen flashed gray. Account locked. Then I froze another card. And another. And another. Every single one. 22 cards. All locked. It didn't feel like revenge. It felt like waking up. I set my phone down, stared at my ceiling. For 32 years, I'd been buying my place in a family that never wanted me there. They didn't love me. They loved what I could give them. And the moment I stopped giving, I'd stop existing to them. But here's what they didn't know. I'd already stopped existing to myself. And I was finally ready to come back. Let me take you back to that exact moment. The kitchen smelled like coffee and burnt toast. Morning light behind Dad's head made him look almost angelic. He stirred his coffee, round and round, spoon clinking ceramic. Didn't look up. "We've booked a trip to Italy, just the 6 of us." Then he looked at me. "You understand, right?" Those 4 words. I'd heard them my whole life. When they forgot my birthday but threw Sloan a party, you understand, right? She's going through a breakup. When they borrowed my car for a week and returned it empty, you understand, right? Gas is expensive. When they asked me to skip my graduation to babysit, you understand, right? Family comes first. Every time I said yes. Every time I swallowed the hurt. This time was no different. Of course, I said. I smiled. The kind that costs something. The air felt thick, heavy, but nobody else noticed. Mom reached for sugar, hand shaking slightly. Didn't look at me, just stirred her tea and checked her phone. Sloane's thumbs flew across her screen, probably texting friends about Italy, face glowing with excitement. Callum leaned back. Which cities? Rome, Florence, Venice, Dad said. Now his voice had energy. Now he looked alive. 2 weeks, we leave on the 15th. Perfect, Ezra said. I can take time off. Mom finally spoke. I've always wanted to see the Amalfi Coast. We'll make it happen, Dad promised. They talked over each other. Flight times, packing lists, restaurants, whether to rent a car or take trains. Their excitement filled every corner. And I sat there, silent, invisible. My coffee went cold in my hands. I wanted to scream, flip the table, ask the question burning in my chest. Why not me? But I already knew. I wasn't invited because I wasn't wanted. I was tolerated, useful, but not family, not really. I was the ATM they visited for withdrawals. Sloan laughed at something Ezra said. Bright, careless. Mom asked Dad about weather in Rome. Callum pulled up hotel pictures. I realized something. They'd planned this. For weeks, maybe months. Discussed it, picked dates, booked flights, reserved rooms. Not once did anyone think to include me. Not once did anyone say, should we invite Raina? I wasn't an afterthought. I was a never thought. I finished my toast. It tasted like cardboard. Sounds amazing, I said during a pause, voice steady, calm. You guys will have the best time. Mom glanced at me. Just a second. Her eyes flickered with something. Guilt? Pity? Then she looked away. We should get travel insurance, she said to Dad. Erased again. I stayed 20 more minutes. Laughed when they laughed. Nodded when they spoke. Played my role. The agreeable daughter. The one who never complains. But something inside had cracked. When I stood to leave, nobody asked me to stay. Drive safe, Mom said, not looking up. I walked to my car, got in, closed the door, sat in the driveway for 10 minutes. Hands gripping the wheel. 6 of us. 6 tickets. 5 people at that table. Who was number 6? I drove home on autopilot, mind spinning. By the time I reached my garage, my phone had buzzed 3 times. Bank alerts. I unlocked it. 5 tickets to Rome, $4,000. My account. Hotel reservation, $6,000. My account. Rental car. 2 weeks, $1,500. My account. Then I saw something else. Wine tour deposit, $400. My account. Museum tickets for 6, $300. My account. Cooking class reservation, 6 people, $500. My account. 6 people. Wait. I scrolled back through the group chat Sloan kept accidentally sending me screenshots from. There. 3 days ago. Sloan. Oh my God, Thea just said she can join us in Florence. Mom, that's perfect. Dad, the more the merrier. Thea, my sister's best friend. They'd invited her. 6 tickets, 5 family members, 1 friend. They invited a stranger to a family trip. But not me. Not their own daughter. I stared at my phone until the screen went dark. Then I opened my banking app. Found every card, every account, every auto-pay linked to their names. And one by one, I froze them all. The screen kept asking, "Are you sure?" Yes. This will affect recurring payments. Good. Cardholders will be notified. Perfect. 22 accounts, all locked. By the time I finished, my hands had stopped shaking. I wasn't angry anymore. I was clear. They'd chosen Thea over me, so I was choosing me over them. Finally, I need you to understand what happened after that breakfast. Because it wasn't just one moment. It was every moment that followed. The group chat exploded. Mom created it that afternoon. Called it Italy Squad. I wasn't added. But Sloan screenshotted it and sent it to me by accident, then unsent it 30 seconds later. I'd already seen everything. Ezra. Just found the perfect wine tour in Tuscany. Callum. We need that pizza place in Naples everyone talks about. Sloan, packing like 6 dresses, taking a million photos. Mom, everyone check passport expiration dates. Dad, already handled travel insurance. 43 messages in 2 hours. Not one mentioned me. I turned my phone face down, stared at my ceiling. They were planning the trip of a lifetime, together, without me, and I was still expected to smile about it. 3 days later was family dinner. I almost didn't go. Sat in my car outside their house for 15 minutes. But I went, because that's what I always did. When I walked in, they were already at the table. Sloan had her laptop open. Flight confirmations on screen. Raina, Mom said brightly. Too brightly. We're just comparing flight times. I set down the dessert I brought. Homemade, like always. Cool, I said. I sat in my usual chair, the end one. The wobbly one nobody fixed. Dad looked at his phone. Earliest flight gets us there at 9 a.m. Perfect, Ezra said. Drop bags and start exploring immediately. Callum pulled up restaurant reservations. Found this place near Trevi Fountain. 5 stars. They passed his phone around. Everyone leaned in. I cut into my chicken. Sloan scrolled hotel photos. Look at this rooftop view. We're gonna have the best time. Sunrise walk along the Tiber, Mom suggested. I'm in, Dad said. Their voices overlapped, excited, animated, finishing each other's sentences, laughing. I might as well have been furniture. No worse, at least furniture gets noticed. I ate quietly, listened, watched. Sloane's phone buzzed, her face lit up. Oh my God, Thea just confirmed Florence. My fork froze. That's amazing, Mom said. Dad nodded. The more the merrier. They started planning which day Thea would join, which hotel she'd stay at, whether she liked museums or shopping. I set my fork down, hands shaking. Nobody noticed. Excuse me, I said quietly. Nobody heard. Excuse me, louder. Mom glanced over. Not feeling well. Heading out. Oh, she frowned slightly. Okay, feel better. That was it. No, what's wrong? No, stay, we'll help. No, do you need anything? Just feel better. I grabbed my keys, walked to the door. Behind me, conversation continued without missing a beat. Sloan. Thea's gonna die when she sees the hotel. Callum. We should surprise her with champagne. Laughter. I closed the door, stood on the porch. Night air was cold. I could see my breath. Through the window I watched them. My family, huddled around the table, passing phones, pointing, smiling. They looked happy, complete, like nothing was missing, like I was never there to begin with. I walked to my car, got in, started the engine, and I just sat there, watching warm light from their windows, watching my family plan a trip that had room for a stranger but not for me. My phone buzzed. Another bank alert. Wine tour deposit. $400. My account. Museum tickets for 6. $300. My account. Cooking class. 6 people. $500. My account. They were spending my money. On a trip I wasn't invited to. For people who weren't me, including someone who wasn't even family. I looked at my banking app. Then back at the house. The light in the window. The family I'd spent 32 years trying to belong to. I opened the app. Found every card linked to my account. One by one, I froze them all. Screen flashed gray. Account locked. Services suspended. Access denied. It felt like closing a door. No, it felt like finally finding the lock. I pulled out of the driveway. Didn't look back. My phone started buzzing. Text after text. I silenced it. For the first time in my life, their crisis wasn't mine to solve. Their panic wasn't mine to manage. Their problem wasn't mine to fix. I drove home in silence. And when I got there, I poured a glass of wine, sat by my window, and I waited, because I knew what was coming. The storm was about to hit, and for once, I wasn't going to be the one cleaning up the damage. That night, I couldn't sleep. I kept checking my phone, refreshing the banking app, watching charges pile up. It wasn't just Italy anymore, it was everything. Grocery delivery to Mom's house, my account. Gas station in Dad's neighborhood, my account. Online shopping, Sloan's shipping address, my account. Streaming services, Netflix, Hulu, Disney Plus, all linked to cards I gave them years ago for emergencies, phone bills. 3 lines that weren't mine. Autopay from my checking. I scrolled through months of statements. Thousands of dollars. Tens of thousands. Gone. How did I not see this? Because I didn't want to. I'd convinced myself it was helping. That families did this. That love meant sacrifice. But this wasn't sacrifice. This was theft. Theft wrapped in guilt. Tied with, "You're so generous and we're so grateful." I sat up in bed. 2 a.m. Room dark except for phone glow. My thumb hovered over the freeze button again. I'd already locked the Italy cards, but there were others. So many others. Credit cards, debit cards, store cards, gas cards. I'd handed them out like candy over the years. In case you need something, for emergencies, just to make life easier. They'd taken them all. Never gave a single one back. My hands were shaking, not from anger, from something else. Clarity. For the first time in my life, I was seeing clearly. They didn't love me. They loved what I could give them. And the moment I stopped giving, I'd stop existing to them. I clicked into account settings. Every card, every account, every autopay. One by one, I shut them down. Freeze, freeze, freeze. The app kept asking, "Are you sure?" "Yes. This will affect recurring payments." "Good. Cardholders will be notified of declined transactions." Perfect. I worked methodically, no hesitation, no second guessing. By 3 a.m. I was done. 22 accounts, all locked. I set my phone down, stared at the ceiling, and I waited. First text came at 6:14 a.m. "Sloan. Hey, my card got declined at Starbucks. Can you check?" I didn't respond. 6:47 a.m. "Mom, Raina, the house payment didn't go through. There must be a mistake." I read it. Didn't reply. 7:30 a.m. "Ezra, yo, your card isn't working. I need you to call the bank." I turned my phone face down. By 8 a.m. my phone was exploding. 15 texts, 7 missed calls. They'd noticed. I made coffee, sat at my kitchen table, let the phone buzz. Each notification was a small victory. For once I wasn't rushing to fix their problems, wasn't explaining, wasn't apologizing, wasn't making it easier. I was letting them feel what I'd felt for years, ignored, dismissed, invisible. By 9 a.m., the group chat was in chaos. Sloan screenshotted it, sent it to me on purpose this time. "Callum, all the Italy charges are bouncing. Dad, someone needs to call Raina. Mom, this isn't like her. Ezra, maybe her account got hacked? Sloan, or maybe she's being petty." There it was, petty. Not hurt, not betrayed, not finally standing up for herself. Petty. I screenshot her message. Saved it. Then I opened my laptop. My accountant had been asking me to review something for months. Said it was important. I pulled up the file, labeled, "Insurance Settlement, Urgent Review." I clicked it open. My blood went cold. 3 years ago, I was in a car accident. Bad one. Broke my collarbone, fractured ribs, 2 weeks in the hospital. Insurance payout was significant. $78,000. I'd been recovering, drugged on pain meds, barely functioning. Mom offered to handle the paperwork. I said yes, because I always did. I trusted her. The document showed where that money went. Not to my account, to theirs. $78,000. Deposited directly into my parents' mortgage account. My accident, my pain, my suffering. Paid off their house. I read it 3 times. Hands numb. Note at the bottom from my accountant. "Raina, this transaction was flagged during audit. Funds were redirected without your signature. You may want to speak with a lawyer. Call me." I sat back. Everything clicked. The kitchen renovation that year, the Hawaii vacation, Dad's investment in Callum's business, all of it. Funded by my broken bones. My phone rang. Mom's name on screen. I stared at it, let it ring, and ring, and ring. Then I opened my contacts, found my lawyer's number, and I hit call. "My lawyer's name is Gemma Park." She answered on the second ring. "Raina, I was wondering when you'd call. You saw the insurance file." "I did. Did you authorize that transfer?" "No." Silence. Then, "We need to meet. Today." 2 hours later, I was in her office. Documents spread across her desk. "This is fraud," Gemma said. "No sugarcoating. Your mother forged your signature, redirected funds intended for you. That's a felony." I stared at the papers. My signature. Except it wasn't. Close. But the R was wrong. I looped mine. This one was printed. What are my options? Legally? File a police report. Press charges. Sue for restitution. Realistically? She leaned back. These are your parents. Most people don't pursue it. They swallow it. Move on. Convince themselves it's not worth the fight. I looked at her. What would you do? Gemma smiled. Small. Sad. I'd burn it all down. I left with a plan. Not revenge. Something cleaner. Correction. I went home. Made a list. 7 places my generosity had been living rent-free. Time to evict it. Door 1. Phones. Called the carrier. Remove 3 lines from my family plan. Are you sure? You'll lose the multi-line discount. Remove them. Click, click, click. Callum's phone, Ezra's phone, Sloane's phone, all disconnected by 5 p.m. Door 2. Vault. Safe deposit box at the bank. Inside, family heirlooms. Grandmother's jewelry. Birth certificates. Deed to property Dad asked me to hold on to. I emptied it. Transferred the deed into my name only. Everything mine stayed mine. Everything theirs went into storage they didn't have keys to. Door 3. House. Wi-Fi at their house? My account. Security system? My credit card. Streaming devices? Mine. Logged into each account. Changed every password. Cancelled every subscription. Within an hour, their internet went dark. Door 4. Mortgage. I'd been making supplemental payments on their house for 2 years. $500 monthly. Just to help out. Called the bank. Stopped autopay. Requested full payment history. $12,000. Gone. Never asked for. Never appreciated. Door 5. Autopays. Car insurance for mom's SUV. My account. Utilities when they had a rough month. My account. HOA fees for their neighborhood. My account. I went through every statement from 5 years. Cancelled them all. Customer service reps kept asking why. No longer needed. I said every time. Door 6. Business. Dad's business had an emergency credit line. On my credit. $20,000 limit. He'd maxed it twice. Called the bank. Closed the account. Requested full repayment within 30 days. And if he doesn't pay, send it to collections. Door 7. Ledger. Opened a spreadsheet. Listed everything. Every dollar given. Every favor done. Every time I said yes when I should have said no. The total made me sick. $247,000. Over 10 years. That's what it cost to buy their conditional love. I saved the file. Titled it, What I'm Owed. Then I sat back. 7 doors. All closed. My phone had been buzzing nonstop. 50 messages. 20 calls. I finally opened the group chat. Pure chaos. Mom, the internet isn't working. Callum, my phone just died. Completely. Ezra, did someone forget to pay bills? Dad, Raina needs to call me. Now. Sloane, this is insane. What is happening? I screenshot the whole thing, then typed one message. Not to them. To myself. This is what happens when the bank closes. Didn't send it to them. Didn't need to. They'd figure it out. Another text came. Dad directly. We need to talk. This isn't you. He was right about one thing. The old me would have caved by now. Apologized. Fixed everything. Made it easy. But that version was gone. The one sitting here? She was done being the easy option. I turned my phone off, closed my laptop, and for the first time in 2 years, I felt something I didn't recognize at first. Peace. Not anger. Not sadness. Just quiet, clean peace. The doors were closed, and I was finally free on the other side. Subscribe if you've ever had to cut someone off to save yourself. Comment which door you need to close. Phone bills. Rent. Emotional support. Let's normalize protecting your peace. The next chapter changes everything. The silence lasted exactly 18 hours. Then the storm hit. My phone turned back on at 7 a.m. Immediately exploded. 63 missed calls. 92 text messages. 4 voicemails. I made coffee first. Let it buzz on the counter while I sat by the window. Sun was coming up. Everything looked clean. New. I sipped my coffee and watched my phone vibrate itself across the table. When it stopped, I picked it up. Voicemails first. Message 1. Mom, 11 p.m. Raina, honey, I don't know what's going on, but we need to fix this. Call me back. Please. Sweet voice. Concerned. the tone she used when she wanted something. Delete. Message 2. Dad, 1 a.m. Raina, this has gone too far. I don't know what you think you're doing, but you need to stop. We're family. Call me. Not asking. Demanding. Delete. Message 3. Sloan, 3 a.m. Are you seriously doing this right now? Over a stupid trip? Grow up, Raina. This is so petty. That word again. Petty. Delete. Message 4. Ezra, 6 a.m. Look, I don't know what happened, but this isn't cool. Mom's crying. Dad's pissed. Just fix it. Whatever it is, fix it. Fix it. Like I always did. Delete. I opened the text messages. The group chat was a war zone. Mom, this isn't you, Raina. Something's wrong. Please talk to us. Dad, you're acting like a child. We did everything for you. Sloan, you're literally ruining everything. The trip is in 3 weeks. Callum, can we all just calm down and figure this out? Ezra, Raina, if you're mad, just say something. 92 messages of the same pattern. Confusion, guilt-tripping, anger, demands. Not one asked why I did it. Not one said sorry. Not one acknowledged what they'd done. They just wanted everything back to normal. Normal. Where I paid. Where I stayed quiet. Where I disappeared. I opened a new message. Typed carefully. I know about the insurance money. Sent. Then I watched. 3 dots appeared immediately. Mom typing. Dots stopped. Started again. Stopped. 5 minutes passed. Nothing. Finally a response. Mom, we were going to pay you back. I laughed. Actually laughed out loud. 3 years. $78,000. And now, suddenly, they were going to pay me back. I typed, when, dots, stopped, dots, stopped. Mom, we needed it for the house. You were recovering. We didn't want to burden you with decisions. Burden me. They stole my money and called it protecting me. Dad, we're your parents. We made a judgment call. You would have said yes anyway. Would I have? Maybe. But they didn't ask. Sloan, can we please talk about this in person? This is getting ridiculous. Ezra, yeah, this back and forth isn't helping anyone. Callum, Raina, just come over. Let's sit down like adults. Like adults. I typed slowly. Adults don't steal. Adults don't lie. Adults don't invite a friend to a family trip but exclude their own daughter. Send. Silence. Then Sloan, Thea is basically family. Mom, we didn't exclude you, honey. We just thought you'd be too busy with work. Too busy. I'd taken off work for Sloane's wedding, for Callum's business launch, for Ezra's kids' birthdays. But for Italy? Too busy. Dad, you're overreacting. This whole thing is blown out of proportion. Overreacting. There it was. Make me the problem. Make my hurt unreasonable. I stared at that message. Then I typed one more thing. I'm not overreacting. I'm done reacting. There's a difference. Before they could respond, I did something I should have done years ago. I muted the group chat. Not left. Muted. I wanted them to see I was still there, still watching, still existing, just not responding, not playing their game anymore. My phone rang. Mom's name. Declined. Rang again. Dad. Declined. Sloan. Ezra. Callum. One after another. Declined. 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 New text thread. Just Mom. Mom. Please, Raina. Let's talk. Just you and me. I'll come to you. Then Dad. Dad. If this is about money, we can work something out. Don't throw away your family over dollars. Dollars. Like that's all it was. Sloan sent a paragraph. Sloan. I get that you're upset, but you're literally sabotaging everyone over one trip. We've done so much for you. Remember when we helped you move? When Mom watched your cat? When Dad fixed your car? Family helps each other, and right now you're being selfish. Selfish. I screenshot that message, added it to a folder. Evidence. Not for court. For me. For when guilt tried to creep back. Proof I wasn't crazy, wasn't wrong, wasn't the villain. Messages kept coming, faster, desperate. I didn't read them. Set my phone down. Face up. Let it light up with notifications I'd never answer. Because when noise expects guilt, silence is rebellion. And I was done feeling guilty for choosing myself. Phone buzzed one more time. Unknown number. This is Thea. Sloan gave me your number. I'm so sorry. I didn't know I was taking your spot. I told them I'm not going. I stared at it. She didn't know. Of course not. They'd lied to her too. I typed, "Thank you. That means more than you know." She responded immediately. "They should have invited you." "I'm sorry." 2 words from a stranger my family couldn't say. "I'm sorry." I set the phone down, went back to my coffee. The storm would keep raging, but I was done standing in it. Gemma called me 3 days later. "You need to come to my office, now." Her voice had an edge I hadn't heard before. I drove there in silence. No radio, just tires on, pavement and my heartbeat in my ears. When I walked in, she had papers everywhere. Spreadsheets, bank statements, documents I'd never seen. "Sit down," she said. I sat. She slid a folder across the desk. Thick, heavy. "I did a full audit of your accounts. Every transaction linked to your family over 10 years. My stomach dropped. "And? It's worse than we thought." She opened the folder, pulled out a highlighted spreadsheet. The insurance money was just the beginning. "Look." Her finger traced down a column. Yellow highlights, red circles, notes and margins. March 2018, your father's business loan, $15,000, never repaid. She flipped the page. June 2019, your mother's car, full purchase, $22,000, you're still listed as owner. She never transferred the title. Another page. December 2020, your sister's wedding venue. You paid $12,000 up front. She promised to pay you back after the honeymoon. Did she? I already knew. No. But 6 months later, she bought a $3,500 designer bag, posted it on social media, tagged, "treating myself." My hands shook. Gemma kept going. Your brother, Callum, you co-signed his apartment lease in 2019. He stopped paying after 4 months. The landlord came after you. You covered 18 months of back rent and damages. $26,000. I remember, I whispered. He said he was going through something. He was going through your bank account. She pulled out another sheet. Ezra, you funded his business startup. $50,000. He told you it was an investment, that you'd get returns. He said the business was growing. It folded in 8 months. He never filed bankruptcy, just stopped paying anyone and moved on, started a new job. You never saw a penny. I felt sick. How much total? Gemma leaned back, face grim. Indirect payments, gifts, loans, covered expenses, $312,000. The room tilted. That's not including the insurance settlement. Add that in, we're looking at $390,000. I couldn't breathe. Almost $400,000? Over 10 years. Average $39,000 a year. You basically gave them a full salary's worth every single year. She pulled out another document. But here's the part that made me call you. She slid it across. Bank transfer receipt. 2 weeks ago, while you were at that breakfast, your mother transferred $12,000 from your savings. What? She still had access. A joint account you opened at 19. You thought you closed it. She kept it active. Been using it as her personal emergency fund. I stared at the paper. $12,000. Withdrawn the same day they told me about Italy. What did she use it for? Gemma turned her computer screen to me. Luxury hotel deposit. Rome. Presidential suite. 6 nights. My vision blurred. They used my money to upgrade their rooms, while telling me I wasn't invited. There's more, Gemma said quietly. How? She pulled out one final document. Older. Worn. Remember when your grandmother died? 5 years ago? I nodded. She left me something. Mom said just sentimental items. Some jewelry. Nothing valuable. Your grandmother left you $85,000. The world stopped. What? Cash inheritance. Explicit instructions. To be given to you directly. To help you buy a house. I never got any money. I know. Your mother was executor. She was supposed to distribute it. Instead, she deposited it into her account, claimed it was for estate fees and taxes. That's legal? No. That's embezzlement. I couldn't move. Couldn't think. My grandmother left me money to buy a house, and my mother stole it. Yes. Used it for what? Gemma checked her notes. Kitchen renovation, new appliances, 2-week cruise. Down payment on a rental property currently generating income for them. I stood, walked to the window, stared at nothing. Almost $500,000. My accident, my pain, my inheritance, my dreams, all stolen. If your blood is boiling right now, smash that subscribe button because justice is coming. Comment how much your family has taken from you: time, money, energy, dreams. We see you. And Raina's about to do what we all wish we could. And they smiled while doing it. Hugged me. Told me they loved me. Called me selfish when I said stop. What do I do? You have options. Civil suit, criminal charges, restitution demands. But Raina, this will destroy your family. I turned to face her. They already did that. They destroyed me first. Slowly. Over years. With every lie. Every theft. Every time they chose themselves and made me feel guilty for noticing. I picked up the folder. I want all of it. Every document. Every receipt. Every proof. What are you going to do? I looked at the papers. Evidence of a decade of betrayal. I'm going to show them exactly what they are. Gemma nodded slowly. One more thing. The Italy trip. They rebooked everything. How? I locked every card. They opened a new credit card. In your name. My blood went cold. That's fraud. Yes, I already filed a police report on your behalf. They'll be contacted within 48 hours. I sat back down, weight pressing down. They're not going to stop. No. Gemma agreed. Not until you make them. I closed the folder. Let's end this. I spent that night organizing everything. Every document, every receipt, every bank statement. Gemma had done the heavy lifting, but I needed to see it myself. Touch it. Understand the full scope. I spread it all across my dining table, sorted by year, by family member, by type of theft, because that's what it was. Not borrowing, not helping, not family supporting family. Theft. At 2 a.m., I opened my laptop, created a new document, typed the date at the top. Then I started writing. Not for them, for me. Every memory I'd buried. Every time I'd swallowed hurt and called it love. Every moment I'd sacrificed myself and called it family. I wrote for 3 hours. When I finished, I had 12 pages. A decade of pain. Condensed into words. I saved it. Closed the laptop. Then I opened my phone. The group chat was still muted, but notification count had climbed to over 300. I unmuted it. Scrolled to the bottom. Started reading. The messages had evolved. First confusion. Then anger. Then guilt trips. Then threats. Now, desperation. Mom. Raina, please. I'm begging you. Talk to me. Dad. You're tearing this family apart. Sloan. Everyone thinks you've lost it. Even Thea feels bad for us. Callum. Just tell us what you want. We'll fix it. Ezra. This silent treatment is childish. I read every message. Didn't react. Just observed. They still didn't get it. They thought this was about attention. Control. Me throwing a tantrum. They couldn't conceive this was about truth. I opened a new message. Individual texts, one to each of them. Started with Mom. You stole my inheritance from Grandma. $85,000. I have the bank records. Send. Then, Dad. You took my insurance settlement without asking. $78,000. I have proof. Send. Sloan. I paid for your wedding venue. You promised to pay me back. You bought a designer bag instead. $12,000. Send. Callum. I covered your rent and damages when you stopped paying. You never thanked me. $26,000. Send. Ezra. Your business loan that was actually my money. You told me it was an investment. You lied. $50,000. Send. Then I sent one final message to the group chat. I didn't tear this family apart. You did. Every time you took from me. Every time you lied. Every time you made me feel guilty for expecting basic respect. I was never your daughter. I was your bank account, and I'm closing it permanently. I attached the full audit document, then typed one more line. The police will contact you within 48 hours regarding the fraudulent credit card opened in my name. My lawyer will be in touch about restitution. Don't contact me again. My finger hovered over send. This was it. The point of no return. Once I sent this, everything would change. But everything had already changed. I just hadn't admitted it yet. I pressed send. Then I archived the group chat, blocked Mom's number, Dad's, Sloane's, Callum's, Ezra's, one by one, gone. My phone felt lighter in my hand. I sat back, waited for panic to hit, for regret, for guilt. It didn't come. Instead, I felt something else. Relief. Pure, clean relief. My phone buzzed. Unknown number. I almost didn't answer, but something made me pick up. Hello? Raina Vale? A woman's voice. Professional. Yes? This is Detective Morris with Financial Crimes. I'm calling about the report your attorney filed. I need to ask you some questions. Okay. Can you confirm you did not authorize a credit card to be opened under your name on the 15th of this month? I did not. And can you confirm the persons who opened this account are your parents? I hesitated. This was real now. Police, investigation, consequences. Yes, I said. My parents. Thank you. We'll be moving forward with the investigation. Someone will contact you in the next few days for a full statement. Your family will be notified. I understand. She paused. Then, softer. Miss Vale, I've worked financial crimes for 12 years. I see this pattern a lot. Family members exploiting each other. It takes courage to report it. You did the right thing. My throat tightened. Thank you, I whispered. She hung up. I set the phone down, stared at the piles of documents still covering my table. Evidence of betrayal. Proof of theft. A map of every time I'd been used. I gathered them all, slid them back into the folder, wrote a label on the ratty. Tab. What love isn't. Then I put it on the shelf. Not to forget, to remember, to remind myself why I did this, why I had to. My phone buzzed again. Text from another unknown number. I opened it. This is Callum. Borrowed someone's phone. You're really doing this? Calling the cops on your own family? Over money? Over money. Like that's all it was. I typed back. No. Over years of lies, years of being invisible, years of funding your lives while you excluded me from mine. The money is just proof. We're family. You don't do this to family. I stared at that message. Then I typed my final response. You stopped being my family the moment you started treating me like an ATM. The difference is, I finally noticed. I blocked that number too, set my phone face down, and for the first time in 10 years, I slept through the night. No anxiety, no guilt, no wondering if I should have done more. Just sleep. Deep, dreamless, peaceful sleep. The kind you only get when you finally stop carrying weight that was never yours to hold. 1 week later, they came to my door. I was making breakfast, coffee brewing, sun streaming through the kitchen window. Peaceful. Then the knock. 3 sharp raps. Then silence. I knew who it was before I looked through the peephole. All 5 of them, standing on my porch. Faces rehearsed, postures practiced. This was an intervention. I could have ignored them, pretended I wasn't home, let them stand there until they gave up. But I didn't. I wanted this. Needed this. The final conversation. I opened the door, didn't step aside, didn't invite them in, just stood there, blocking the entrance. Raina, Mom said. Her voice cracked. Eyes red. She looked smaller somehow. Please, let's fix this. Fix this. Like it was a broken plate. A misunderstanding. There's nothing to fix, I said calmly. Dad stepped forward. We're your family. We can work this out. Work what out? The theft? The lies? The decade of using me? We never used you, Sloane said, arms crossed. Defensive. You offered to help, every time, because you made me feel guilty if I didn't. That's not fair, Callum said. Fair? I almost laughed. You want to talk about fair? Ezra shifted uncomfortably. Look, maybe we didn't handle everything perfectly, but calling the cops? That's extreme. What's extreme is opening a credit card in my name without permission. That's called fraud. Silence. Mom's face crumpled. We were desperate. The Italy trip got so expensive and you just what? Decided to commit a crime? We're family. Dad's voice rose. Family doesn't do this to each other. You're right, I said quietly. They don't. The weight of that hung in the air. Mom reached out, tried to touch my arm. I stepped back. Raina, please. We're sorry. We'll pay you back. All of it. Just drop the charges. Come home. Come home. Like I'd left. Like I was the one who'd abandoned them. How? I asked. She blinked. What? How will you pay me back? Do you have $400,000 sitting somewhere? Her face went pale. We'll figure it out, Dad said quickly. Payment plan. Whatever you need. I needed parents who didn't steal from me. I needed a family who saw me as more than a wallet. But I didn't get that, did I? We do see you, Mom whispered. We love you. No, you love what I can give you. There's a difference. Sloane's eyes narrowed. So what, you're just done with us? Over money? It was never about the money. Then what? She snapped. I looked at each of them. Really looked. It's about respect. It's about being seen. It's about not having to buy my place at the table. You never had to buy anything, Mom said. Then why was I the only one excluded from Italy? Silence. Why did you invite Thea and not me? More silence. Why did you plan it for months without once thinking to include your own daughter? Mom's lips trembled. We thought. You thought I'd pay for it anyway. And I would have. If you'd just asked. If you'd just treated me like I mattered. Dad's jaw tightened. This is ridiculous. We raised you. We gave you everything. You gave me conditions. You gave me expectations. You gave me a lifetime of feeling like I had to earn love. That's not true. Then prove it. Tell me one time you chose me when it cost you something. One time you put my needs before yours. They looked at each other, searching for an answer. The silence stretched. That's what I thought, I said. Please, Mom begged. Let's just talk. Inside, like a family. You don't want healing, I said quietly. You want access. Her face changed. Mask slipping. You want me to drop the charges so you don't face consequences. You want me to forgive the debt so you can keep spending. You want me to pretend this never happened so everything goes back to normal. Is that so wrong? Dad asked. Wanting things to go back? Yes, because how they were was killing me. I stepped back, hand on the door. I spent 32 years trying to be enough for you, giving enough, sacrificing enough, staying quiet enough. And it was never enough, because you didn't want a daughter, you wanted a resource. That's not true. Mom sobbed. Then why am I only valuable when I'm useful? No answer. I'm done. Done explaining. Done justifying. Done begging you to see me. So that's it? Sloane's voice was sharp. You're just cutting us off? You cut me off first. Every time you chose yourselves. Every time you took without asking. Every time you made me invisible. I looked at Mom one last time. I hope Italy was worth it. Then I closed the door, locked it, stood with my hand on the wood, listening. Silence. Then footsteps. Retreating. I waited until I heard car doors slam, until the engine faded. Then I walked back to my kitchen. My coffee was still warm. The sun was still shining. And I was still standing. Not broken. Not destroyed. Free. I picked up my coffee, took a sip, and I smiled. Not because I'd won, because I'd finally stopped playing a game I was never meant to win. The door stayed closed, and I stayed on my side of it, where I belonged. 3 months later, morning light comes through my window different now, softer, like it knows I'm finally ready to receive it. I'm sitting at my kitchen table, same table where I spread out all those documents, where I calculated the cost of staying silent. But today, there's just coffee, and quiet, the kind of quiet that doesn't feel empty. My phone sits face up on the counter. No notifications, no demands, no crises I'm expected to solve. Just silence, peaceful silence. The police investigation concluded 2 weeks ago. Credit card fraud confirmed. My parents received a formal warning. No jail time, but their credit is destroyed. The debt is being garnished from their accounts. Gemma helped me file civil suit for restitution. We're not expecting much. They don't have the money. But it's documented now. Official. Real. The Italy trip never happened. They couldn't afford it once I cut them off. Tried to get refunds. Most were non-refundable. I don't feel bad about that. I feel nothing about that. That's the surprising part. Not anger. Not satisfaction. Not guilt. Just nothing. They're strangers now. People I used to know. People I used to break myself for. But not anymore. I open my laptop. The folder is still there. What love isn't? I click it open. Look at the files. All the evidence. All the proof. Then I do something I've been thinking about for weeks. I create a new document. Title it, What Love Is. And I start writing. Love is waking up without anxiety. Love is coffee that doesn't taste like obligation. Love is having space to breathe. Love is saying no and not apologizing. Love is boundaries that don't require explanation. Love is keeping what's yours. Love is not feeling guilty for existing. I write for 20 minutes. No structure. Just thoughts. Truths I'm learning. When I finish, I save it. Right next to the other file. Because I need both. The before and after. The wound and the healing. My phone buzzes. For a second my chest tightens. Old reflex. Old fear. But it's just Gemma. Lunch next week? My treat. I smile. Type back. Yes. Thank you. Real gratitude. Not performative. Not transactional. Just genuine thanks for someone who saw me. Helped me. Without asking for anything in return. That's what actual support looks like. I'm learning. There's a knock at my door. Different from that knock 3 months ago. Lighter. Gentler. I check the peephole. It's my neighbor. Holding a plant. I open the door. Hey, she says. Her name is Iris. We've talked a few times. She's kind. Doesn't ask invasive questions. I propagated this succulent and thought you might want one. She hands it to me. Small pot. Green leaves. Simple. Thank you, I say. And I mean it. No problem. Also, some of us are doing game night Friday if you want to come. No pressure. No pressure. 2 words that feel revolutionary. I'd like that, I say. She smiles. Waves. Walks back to her apartment. I close the door. Look at the plant in my hands. Something living. Something given freely. No strings. No debt. Just a gift. I set it on my windowsill, next to the space where morning light lands, and I think about family. Not the one I was born into. The one that took and called it love. But the one I'm building now. Slowly. Carefully. People who show up without asking for payment. People who see me and don't calculate what I'm worth. People who understand that love isn't supposed to cost everything. I used to think I was the problem. Too sensitive. Too demanding. Too ungrateful. I believed them when they said I was selfish for wanting basic respect. But I wasn't the problem. The problem was thinking breadcrumbs were a feast. The problem was mistaking cruelty for care. The problem was believing that blood made you family even when they bled you dry. I open the folder one last time. What love isn't. And I add one final line. Love isn't obligation. It isn't silence as debt. It isn't, you understand, right? It's freedom. And I finally own mine. Then I close the laptop, stand up, stretch. The apartment feels bigger now, lighter, like something heavy lifted. I walk to the window, look out at the street below, people going about their lives, free, unburdened. And I realize something. I'm one of them now. Not the daughter who gave everything. Not the ATM who smiled through theft. Not the woman who paid for love that was never real. Just Raina, 32 years old, learning what it means to choose herself. Learning that walking away isn't cruel when staying means disappearing. Learning that family is supposed to add to your life, not subtract from it. I pick up my coffee. Still warm, still mine. And I think about that girl who sat at breakfast 3 months ago. The one who smiled when her father said, "You understand, right?" The one who swallowed the hurt and called it love. She's still here, but she's different now. Stronger, clearer, free. She finally understands. Love isn't supposed to hurt this much, and if it does, it isn't love at all. I take a sip of coffee, look at the succulent on my windowsill, and I start planning my own trip. Not to Italy. Somewhere I choose. Somewhere I want. Somewhere I don't have to pay for anyone but myself. Because I'm done living for people who only loved what I could give. I'm ready to live for me. And that, finally, feels like coming home. If you made it to the end, you're stronger than you think. Subscribe because you deserve stories that validate your truth. Comment, "I chose me," if you've ever walked away from people who only loved what you could give them. This is your permission to choose yourself. Always.